this is a really special moment. You know, the term historic is overused, but this really is a historic moment. You know, the opening of the Borders Railway, the first passengers taking journeys, is going to be a really, probably quite emotional moment, as well as a real signal of a development that has the potential over the next few years to regenerate the borders completely. So I think it is hugely exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it in operation.
Now, your predecessor in his role as First Minister, when we spoke to him, he was hugely excited about it, very passionate about the railway. Did that come across to you in conversations that you know you could tell how much it meant to him and how excited and interested he was in rail development?
Absolutely. You know, he was a huge enthusiast for this project, and you know, there's many people who have worked for a long time to make this happen, but there's no doubt Alec is one of those people. Perhaps without the dedication he had to it, it wouldn't have got to where it has today. He gave me not that much advice when he left office and I took over, but he gave me a few pieces of advice, and certainly to do whatever I could to make sure not just that the project was completed. By that time, the project was well on the way to completion, but he gave me the advice of making sure that we do everything we can to ensure that it fulfils its potential for the borders. It's not just a railway, although it's very important as a railway, the longest piece of domestic railway delivered in over 100 years. But we've got to make sure that it delivers the real economic, social, cultural, tourist potential for the borders that it has the ability to do.
Now, you've been up and down the rail line, or been visiting towns up and down the rail line over the last 12 months or so. Have you actually had the chance to travel on any stage, on any part of the rail line so far?
I'm looking forward to doing that for the first time next week, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it's been, as I travel around Scotland, up and down the length and breadth of Scotland all the time, and it's been really quite incredible to watch the whole thing take shape. So I'm very excited about stepping on the train and taking my first journey next week.
A lot of column inches was written in the early days in particular about the rail line being used for commuters, for people travelling down to the borders to work, and obviously vice versa. In more recent times, there's been a real focus as well on the tourism side of things. Now, there is huge potential there, presumably going forward, for this to be beneficial for so many tourist attractions in the area to link up on the back of and benefit from.
Well, this is where I think it's got massive potential, and probably this is the bit where we have to really work hard to make sure that we realise that potential. And it goes back to what I said earlier on about the advice Alex Salmond gave me when I took over from him as First Minister, is to make sure that we don't just open the railway, important though that is, and then forget that we've got to make sure that it really does deliver the benefits for the borders that everybody knows it's capable of doing. That's why he put such an emphasis on looking at the tourist potential, looking possibly at a new location for the Great Tapestry of Scotland, the potential for steam train tourist trips on the line. All of that is really important, and I think the opportunities of all of that are in many ways limitless for the borders, and that's what I mean when I say this is a hugely exciting rail project. But what it might mean in the years ahead for the borders, we should not allow ourselves to be limited in our imagination about what that might deliver. It will take hard work, but it's definitely there to be done.
Well, everyone, the great day has finally arrived, and you are truly the lucky ones to be the first on the first train out of Galashiels since 1969. Today, on this joyful occasion, a wrong has been righted, and we celebrate the reopening of the Borders Railway.
Finally got here after all the training and hard work that we've had to put in, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to be driving it will be the first train for the golden ticket users. After 40 years, it's just a massive sense of pride. It's been a pleasure to be part of the series, and let's hope everybody in the Borders uses this line.
Well, I've just been shaking hands with the driver because I shook hands with the driver on the last train out of Gala. And I always hoped, but was never sure, that I'd ever shake hands with a train driver again coming out of Galashiels station. And this is it, and it's a fantastic day. I have to say that the closure of the line was the biggest single disappointment in my 50 years in Parliament. It should never have happened, and I hope that this is just the beginning of what will be an expanded line down through the Borders.
3 years ago, on the 31st of August, my dad got told the worst news possible that he had cancer, and 3 years later we're sitting on the train.
Looking out the window here, and I can remember coming up here in the steam trains and seeing all the same scenery, and I never thought I'd ever see this again.
It was actually my son Billy who got the ticket. I'm just joining him on it. I nominated Billy because he lost his dad to cancer this year, and his dad, when he was battling cancer, had said, wouldn't it be great if Billy could be one of the first people to go on the train? So I made his wish come true today.
All my friends at uni couldn't believe it when we didn't have a train, and I was hopping on the X95 home or driving, and I think it's just going to be so beneficial for people like me, people that are connected to Edinburgh, but it was really difficult to get up here.
Yeah, as expected, I mean, trying to fight back the tears a wee bit. We've been waiting a long time for this, but it's great to see it, and great to see such a mixed bunch of people on the train, young and old, people from all over, and particularly the fact it's coming all the way from Tweedbank, so yeah, super.
As a sort of tangible piece of memory I have with me today, and I've been showing it to various people on the train. I've got a little montage of tickets which I kept from those days, tickets to places like Belsays and Hassendine and Stobbs and Hoyk and so on, as well as some of the stations we've been through today. So I have that as a memory still, and it's a little frame thing I have in the house. It's a fact, it's one of the biggest lines, as we know, to open. This is the biggest line indeed to open since Victorian times, and it was one of the biggest mistakes. It took into account some aspects but not enough aspects, and the kind of spirit which people have in them to actually get this railway line back, and I'm sure to frequent it, shows that in fact it was a mistake, and hopefully it will be a great success. I'm sure it will be. And Dr. Beeching, well, I'm afraid that's another one you've lost.
3, 2, 1.
shields and bow shine.